20 years ago, as I was walking next to a river in Indonesia, I felt the Lord ask me a question. Son, how big a dam would you need to totally stop the flow of this river? I thought a minute and answered, well, it doesn't matter how big a dam you build, the water will keep piling up behind it. Eventually it will come over the top, go round the sides, or break through the wall itself. God responded, exactly. And that's my grace flowing to the Muslim world. God was preparing me to spend the next 2 decades of my life in the Middle East. For most of this time, relatively few people from Muslim background responded to Christ. Even though we were sharing the good news and living lives of sacrificial love, it was as if the flow of grace to these people was dammed up behind a wall of cultural and religious control. In 1976, engineers in the USA were filling a major new dam. One morning, as it was almost reaching full capacity, they noticed a wet spot in the face of the dam. Soon it became a small leak, so they sent bulldozers to try to patch it up. Then, whole sections of the dam face caved in, swallowing up the dozers. Suddenly, only 4 hours after noticing the first leak, the whole dam collapsed, sending millions of tons of water down the valley. Something that had taken years to build and seemed so solid and immovable was suddenly gone. Looking at the Middle East from a distance right now, it might look like the dam holding back the message of Christ is strong, and maybe even getting stronger. We can be concerned that Christianity will be wiped out of the Middle East. Many are fearful that Islam will overrun many of our Western cities and nations. But come closer and the picture is very different. 20 years ago in many countries, it was very rare for a Muslim person to become a follower of Jesus. In other countries, it seemed the dam had totally sealed off the flow of God's grace, and there were virtually no known believers. But God called us to pray. YWAM started the 30 days of prayer for the Muslim world, and we began to see a great flow of God's grace to the Muslim world. The dam has been filling, the pressure has been building, and now we are seeing significant leaks through the dam. In many parts of the Middle East and across the world, more Muslim people are becoming followers of Christ than ever before in history. The built-up pressure of grace behind the dam is beginning to rush through the leaks. The dam holding back God's grace is beginning to crumble before our eyes. This doesn't mean that Islam will cease to exist, but that its power to hold its people from the gospel is collapsing. Many Muslims are disillusioned, searching for life and truth. Now is the time to let the compassion of God move us to reach out to Muslim people wherever they are. In Muslim nations across the world, the devil is taking every opportunity to steal, kill, and destroy. Now is the time to stand in prayer for Muslim communities to limit his destructive power and to see God's healing flow. In recent years, many Muslim communities have been touched with the gospel, but in other communities, the love of Christ is still unknown. Now is the time for every Muslim, even in remote and difficult corners of the world, to know that they are loved. Now is the time for Muslims to come home.